What happens when industrial rock pioneers decide to weaponize their music against the chaos of modern society? That's exactly what we're diving into today. Welcome back to the channel. Today I'm reviewing Enemy, the latest album from industrial giants KMFDM. Now, my journey with this band is relatively recent compared to their nearly 4-decade legacy. I had heard about KMFDM a long time ago, but I never took the time to really listen to them until their past couple of years. The first album I checked out was Hyena, and then after that I checked out Let Go. I reviewed both of them on this channel, and what struck me immediately was how consistent this band is. You pretty much know what you're getting with KMFDM, but at the same time, they like to have a little variety on their albums, so not every song sounds the same. The balance between familiarity and experimentation is what keeps bringing me back. Enemy is the 24th studio album by these industrial rock pioneers, officially released on February 6th, 2026 through Metropolis Records. And they've been around for a long time. It's their 24th album. That's why I'm not even going to attempt to do a ranking video. But this band has been releasing music since 1986 and has never gone more than 3 years without putting out an album. So that level of consistency and dedication is something to really appreciate. So what is this album about? Enemy is a political statement against hypocrisy and discrimination. The band declares themselves as, quote unquote, the enemy of these societal issues. They embrace the label that modern leaders often throw at their own citizens. The album is a battle cry for a divided world, and the core lineup features founding members Sasha Captain K. Coniento and vocalist Lucia Ciparelli, alongside drummer Andy Selway and the new London-based guitarist Tidor Nidu. And there's a special guest appearance, Annabella Conchiezzo, a daughter of Sasha and Lucia, and she makes her songwriting and vocal debut on the track You. I'll play a clip of that later. And of course, the iconic cover art comes from longtime collaborator Aidan Brute Hughes. As for the music, this album is described as forcefully eclectic, an evolution of what KMFDM calls ultra heavy beat. They blend industrial with dubstep, reggae, thrash metal, and 80s style electronica. Pretty much a wild ride. The production is polished, it's gritty, it's designed to hit hard without becoming overwhelming. And with that being said, let me go track by track. Album opens with Enemy, the title track and second single. I like this one. I remember being able to listen to it before the album came out. Has a nice build-up with the thumping bass guitar and some heavy guitar riffs. But one of the best aspects of it is the song has a really sing-alongable chorus. There's also a nice mix of electronic sounds that are slightly reminiscent of 80s new wave. Lyrically, it's a battle cry against current injustice, addressing modern societal fractures. The message is clear. In a world where leaders label their own citizens as enemies, KMFDM chooses to embrace that title and stand against hypocrisy and discrimination. The song calls for listeners to weaponize, unify in a world that wants us quiet, rather than succumb to manufactured division. It's a really powerful opener. Next up is Oubliette. Another lead single, or the lead single, and I listened to this one beforehand. It's pretty cool. It reminds me a bit of Rammstein, even though I know KMFDM were around long before them. I'm just making that as a reference. This one kind of has a post-punk sound mixed with that German new dance music style, features female vocals, and uses the metaphor of a medieval forgotten dungeon to represent the dehumanization of marginalized populations by ethnocentric leaders. It's dark, heavy, it sets the tone perfectly. But then the next song, L'Etat, this one draws from Louis the Fourth or Louis the 16th, I can't read this, Roman numeral something. But the phrase, L'Etat c'est moi, I am the state, and the track serves as a vicious and hyperbolic critique of authoritarian power and the arrogance of absolute rulers. Another Very heavy song with pounding guitars and a very industrial sounding drum beat. And it reminds me of Ministry. And again, I know KMFDM was around long before them. I just wanted to use that as a reference. But I like the song. Good use of electronics, distorted guitars, and it has a very menacing atmosphere. Vampire is a little different, a lot more stripped back than other songs. It features female vocals. It's more of a danceable or disco type of sound, but still stays within the realm of KMFDM's signature style. I heard some of that riot girl punk rock, some vocals. It's pretty cool and unexpected. You is a track featuring Annabella Konietzko. And it's described as a feverish alt-pop banger. There's a very electronic sound with acid squelches and female vocals. Kind of reminds me of something like Madonna's Ray of Light, something along those lines. One of the more pop-oriented songs on the album. I would even go as far to say as it sounds like a straight-up pop song, but works in the context of the album's variety. Outer Intervention is a satirical story about global political interventionism and our divided socio-political condition. It gets a little heavier, has some guitar riffs that are reminiscent of thrash metal. Guitars have kind of an electronic sound. I like the spooky keyboard sounds that add to the song. More along the lines of Rammstein or Ministry, aggressive, confrontational, and unapologetic. A.OK. offers sarcastic commentary on the "this is fine" mindset, mocking the apathy and nihilism we feel while facing constant 24-hour spin cycle of chaos and global absurdity. The one starts out with some really trippy electronic sounds, has this funky bass guitar sound, almost like the band Primus, but going into new wave type electronic pop sounds. Also features female vocals. Reminds me a lot of 80s pop and new wave. It's pretty cool and shows KMFDM's range. Stray Bullet 2.0 is a re-recording. They have this classic track. It originally came back in 1997, and there was some controversy with the original because of the Columbine massacre. I never listened to the original, and this version sounds pretty cool. It's like reggae music with electronics, with heavy bass lines and these pretty cool grooves, and it leads into this like dub reggae style. It's a bold choice and shows the band isn't afraid to reimagine their own catalog. Catch and Kill is also pretty cool with a darker sound. It's mostly electronics and bass guitar. They use a cleaner guitar tone here. This one has a really good guitar solo, stands out, and it's one of the album's highlights. Gun Quarter Sue is an instrumental and one of the heaviest songs on the album. Has some intense thrash metal style guitar riffs. Also has electronic bass guitar, and it gives it a very industrial sound. In addition to the electronic sounding drum beat, it's a blistering instrumental that showcases the band's instrumental prowess. The album closes with The Second Coming. This is an adaptation to W.B. Yeats' famous poem to warn about the future where the center cannot hold and mere anarchy is loosened. It serves as a modern grim funeral rite for the modern world. It's a weird song because it has a slow electronic beat and spoken word, but they make it sound very ominous, like some type of warning for the future. It's dark, disturbing, uses deep bass and distorted spoken word vocals for a nightmarish quality. It's unsettling, but a fitting end to an album about societal collapse. So, final thoughts, pretty impressive. The band has been releasing albums since 1986 and has never gone more than 3 years without putting out new music. I've only listened to the past 3 albums, so I don't know what the early ones sound like, but I imagine they're similar to what I've heard. I enjoyed this album quite a bit. I think KMFDM is pretty consistent. I've enjoyed all 3 albums that I had listened to them, and you always get a lot of variety on their albums, but they have this unique sound, meaning you know it's them when you hear them. That's the mark of a band with a strong identity. My final score is going to be 8.5 out of 10. Now, speaking of the answer to that question I posed at the beginning, what happens when industrial rock pioneers weaponize their music against modern chaos? You get an album that's uncompromising, politically charged, and sonically diverse. You get KMFDM doing what to do best, creating industrial music that's both thought-provoking and very heavy. So if you enjoyed this review, make sure you check out my reviews of the 2 previous KMFDM albums, Hyena and Let Go. They will both be appearing on screen right now. If you're new here, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell so you don't miss any future reviews. Drop a comment below. Let me know what you think of Enemy, or if you've been a long-time KMFDM fan. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.